Hi guys, so it's Luke here for SimBoxx in association with Adrenaline Performance and Clint Patrick. Delighted tonight to be joined by the European cruiserweight champion, Tommy McCarthy. Tommy, how are we doing?
All good, all good. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. So, you're speaking there off camera. You've been training hard today. How's things going? Have you just entered camp, of course, for the Chris Billam Smith fight coming up? Are you fully in camp at the minute?
Yeah, because after the last fight, I knew that the Billam Smith fight was going to happen. If I had to beat Joe, so after that fight, I just took a week off and then straight back in. So I'm knee deep in camp today. I was sparring this morning and then running Tyson there this evening.
So let's go back to the Alexander Joe fight, first of all. Get your thoughts on that victory. So you stopped him in the sixth round, a couple of body shots put him down throughout the fight. A potential banana skin, if we're being honest, with this Billam Smith fight already kind of in the works, in the pipeline. It would have been very easy for you to take your eye off the ball with Joe, but you went in there and you'd done a job on a guy that was, maybe quite negative, and definitely it would have been easy for you to overlook him.
Yeah, well, before the fight, that the whole thing was like you beat Journey, you fight Billam Smith. So, like, if I had a lost to Joe, then everything would have been like all done. You know what I mean? So I need to concentrate on him. Like I said, there wasn't too much. There wasn't millions of footage on him, but he, he went 10 rounds, or he went the distance with Rogalczyk, the former 210 world champion from Poland, went the distance with him, and he was 19-4. So I knew that he was he was coming to win. And then I found him on Instagram, so I was looking at his Instagram, and he flew in sparring partners, and I was like, this guy is really taking this serious, because it was a chance for him too to change his whole career around. When like he'd won the EU title before and he'd won a couple of other belts, so to win the European title would have changed everything right round for him. So I knew I had to be on my game and do everything perfect. So I trained perfect. I had a brilliant preparation for it, and I think in the first round, once I came out and he seen what kind of shape and all I was in, and he saw how positive I was being, command the center of the ring, I think I mentally broke him straight away, because he went straight on the back foot then, and then I was catching him good stiff jabs, and he just went in this show.
Yeah, no, with that victory, that's your fifth victory in a row since the Reactpor setback, and you've really revitalized your career. Did you, in the aftermath of the Reactpor fight, was there ever any worries that you wouldn't have been able to bounce back? Was there any kind of dark nights and worries and contemplation whether or not boxing is or isn't for you, or was it straight back to the drawing board and you knew you had it in you to bounce back?
Yeah, well, immediately after the fight, my cousins were and my manager in it, and I said, lads, that's it, I'm finished. And they're going, oh no, don't be making decisions like that right now. I says, nah, I'm done. That was my immediate reaction. But then when I got home and after speaking with my wife and my family and that, it was like, nah, I'm better than it, and I can't go out of the game like the way that happened. And I knew and I believe I can beat Richard. And I just needed to believe in myself and sort out my team. So, moving forward after that fight, I says, look, because excuses don't fly in boxing, and so the reasons that I had for the fight not going the way it went, I was like, look, I want to take away all these. I'm going to make sure that my team's perfect, my training's perfect, so that if I ever lose ever again, it'll be like there'll be no excuses. But my mentality was, I'm never losing again. So let me just make sure that everything's taken care of behind the scenes, and that's what I did. And I haven't lost since.
Absolutely. So, the proof's in the pudding that you've got the results that you was after. Now, in the aftermath of the Joe fight, again, we got the Chris Billam Smith announcement, but you also linked up with Matchroom, so you got that kind of security. Is that a multi-fight deal, or is that to see you through the Chris Billam Smith fight?
Yeah, so it's a multi-fight deal, and the thing that came. It had been in the talks kind of, but I was, it was, but as well, every boxer in the world wants the same with Matchroom. Like it's a dream for any young pro. Look, if you can get a Matchroom deal, you're elected. But when the negotiations kind of started with the contract, I was like, do I even need this contract? Because I'm well ranked in the world. Like I'm top 10 with all the major government bodies. Like, do I need to be, but then, they are the best. Matchroom is the best in the business. Eddie Hearn's the best promoter in the world. The shows are second to none. And it's just, it takes pressure off you because, like before it's put pen to paper, like we had like a gentleman's agreement with Eddie, but before I put pen to paper, it's like, just, you may be fighting on this, so stay ready just in case. And there was pressure, like if you get beat, you're not going to be on the next show like you need. So now there's no pressure. Like I have the contract, my fights are guaranteed, my money's guaranteed. So it's I'm in a good place. Like everything is kind of just falling into place perfectly, like at the right time.
Do you believe it's those little percentages and those little improvements, taking the pressure off, not worrying where your next fight's going to come from, and adding little members to your team and changing little things? They're the little percentages that are enabling you to, as I said earlier, this kind of run of your career would have been a million miles off after the Riakpo defeat.
Yeah.
You get these little changes that are now paying dividends and will continue to pay dividends in the future.
Yeah, that's the small percentages, them week 5%, they all make up. There's the difference in winning and losing. So it's all since the Riakpo fight, there's been small changes along the way, and it's all just gelling together perfectly. And to become a Matchroom fighter, as I said, that's every fighter's dream. Like that's the, almost like it's almost come full circle. So now, I need after I beat Billam Smith, then the world title. So then that'll just be, everything just come together the way I wanted to go. So everything has just been, like I said, just been going in my favor.
So the 31st of July is the date. It's week 1 of Fight Camp. It's the launch of Matchroom under DAZN. It's going to be a huge platform. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs on the fight, and yourself and Chris Billam Smith is one of the picks of all 3 shows that have been announced so far. It's the British, the European, the Commonwealth titles, but much more than that. It's also edging one of you guys very much closer to a world title shot. There's so many ramifications and little layers to this fight. It's a fantastic fight as a neutral, and one that I'm sure you're very proud to be a part of.
Yes, it's once again, everyone wants to be part of these big shows, and the Fight Camp last year it looked unreal. So to be part of a Fight Camp that's on the new platform, DAZN, and with fans in it, I'm just buzzing for it. And as you said, like the fight, I'm the European champion, but the vacant British is on the line, and then Chris is Commonwealth. So to walk away with 3 bats again, it'll just mean, definitely we get the world title next.
One of the most interesting aspects to this fight, aside from it being a great fight between 2 equally matched fighters, is this kind of needle or animosity that's built up between you 2 guys, which is, definitely out of character for the pair of you. Where did this all fester and come from?
Well, Chris, took the Twitter and said, punch holes to me. And I was like, it was annoying me a wee bit before anyway, because, he's on his path and he was like, he's behind me. So I'm just like getting closer and closer to the world title. And every time somebody put a camera in front of his face, he was saying, yeah, I want to fight Tommy McCarthy. I was going, this is disrespect, because really, I can see exactly where Chris is coming from. He doesn't want to fight for the British title against Dion Juma or Jack Massey or Stephen Ward, because these guys will beat him. So it's like, there's less shame in losing to the European champion than losing for a vacant British title. So, like, I know that's his whole game, but I was just ignoring it anyway. And then when he said we punch holes me, I was like, this is just complete madness, like, for him to even think like it. And so that's it really. And then he's just, He's just a bore. That's it.
How's your mentality changed in terms of, now European champion on the domestic scene, arguably number one, with Riakporn nowhere to be seen at the minute, unfortunately, but you've almost gone from starting at square one after the Riakporn defeat, and now you're almost at the top of the food chain domestically. So you've almost gone from, the hunter to the hunted domestically, and everyone's targeting yourself. Has that added like an extra layer of determination to you? And are you aware of that, or do you just see it as like, whatever fight's in front of you is the next fight?
Now, well, that's the position everyone wants to be in. And that's the perfect way to say it, from the hunter to the hunted. I was trying to get these big fights before, like the domestic ones, and coming in as an opponent. Now, as you say, I'm on the top of the tree. I'm the European champion. So it's done wonders for my confidence. And I just want to just keep going up and up and up. But this Billam Smith fight is the last chapter of the European scene, and then from here on in, I want to be on the world stage.
So, if we're being objective about Chris Billam Smith, what do you believe Chris Billam Smith does well, and what do you think he does not so well? Without giving away too much of your game plan, of course, what does he not do so well that you think you can take advantage of?
He don't have a defense on it. He gets caught easy, no head movement. And he's big and he's stiff. And like what he does well, he looks like he punches hard. And he looks strong. But he's been well matched. So I don't think his record is like tells the true story of his punch power. But we're gonna find out anyway. But he's been well matched. So the only time he's had a live opponent in front of him, the only two times was Riakporn in that last one, and he wasn't great in both of them fights. So yeah, he's big and he's strong, and he has a good shot selection, but he's not a high level boxer or anything.
Do you believe this fight stops within the distance?
Yeah, I'm going in there to stop him. Like, I'm going in there to do the business.
So, of course, this fight takes place in Matchroom Square Garden, as it's been affectionately known as online. Eddie Hearn's back garden. You was there for the press conference the other day. What do you think of fighting in such a unique location? You've been behind closed doors. You've experienced that. You've got your amateur background. But something totally different here, boxing outdoors in the middle of the summer in Eddie Hearn's back garden. Something that's a bit different and something that I'm sure you're looking forward to.
Yeah, well, as a pro, I've boxed in 1 or 2 open air shows, and but the box in the Matchroom, as you say, the Matchroom Square Garden, it's just a great experience. And that's what the last year, or the last 2 years of my career has been just great experiences through boxing. I boxed in Rome, opener, which was incredible, and then boxed, as you say, behind closed doors, which is such a unique experience that a vast majority of fighters won't ever get the chance to experience. And then now we're getting this fake camp one, which again is this selective few who are getting this experience. So I'm just honored to be part of all these the new wave of boxing.
It's good to see that you've seen the positives in, for instance, the behind closed doors boxing, because we've seen fighters like Josh Warrington. He took a painful loss to Mauricio Lara, and some people have labelled that because it was no fans there. We've got the passionate Leeds fans behind Josh Warrington, but the fact that you're able to see the positives in taking from that experience, that it was so unique, and that you've almost added it as another string to your bow.
Yeah, so different strokes for different folks, and as Josh, everyone knows, he has like a crazy following, so it would be weird for him. Whereas I have been on, the away fader when there's only a handful of people that are cheering for me. Like, I've had them experiences. So in the behind closed doors, it was like, it wasn't as if it was a brand spanking new experience. And as you say, my amateur experience, very few people go to watch amateur shows. So it was, it wasn't as as daunting to me as it would be to somebody who's used to packing out stadiums every time.
Yeah, I just want to move away from the Billam Smith fight for a moment. And a couple of months back, I seen on your social media that you were sparring with Joseph Parker, the New Zealand heavyweight. How was that for an experience? And, you know, do you think that in the future, maybe when you accomplish all your goals at cruiserweight, that a possible move up to heavyweight could be on the cards for Tommy McCarthy?
Yeah, well, that would be great. That was always my plans from day one, to do a David Hay or a Tony Bellew. You know, do everything at cruiserweight and then go about the heavy and get the payday. And yeah, you know, Joseph's based in Dublin now. I'm from Belfast, I'm based in Dublin. So, you know, it was what happened. I was driving through Dublin City and I seen a guy who I hadn't seen for years. And so I stopped, I pulled over to talk to him. And he says, Cal O'Grady, his name's a former boxer. And he says, yeah, you know, Joseph Parker's training around my gym, around the corner. And he says, Joseph Parker, the heavyweight champion, Joseph Parker. And he's like, yeah, he's training around. He's not that big, like, he'd be good sparring for you. And I says, fucking right, sure, give me your number and we'll get it arranged. So he says, all right, no problem, I'll phone Pete. So that's what happened. He phoned Pete, and the next day I was around sparring him in the gym. So hopefully, I don't see any reason why it can't happen. There'll be regular sparring for me and him, because obviously he's quality and quality, and will bring the best out in each other.
You know, so you're speaking there of as a cruiserweight moving up to heavyweight, and we've now got this bizarre bridgerweight division from the WBC. Is that something that you'd completely bypass, or if the right fight, the right opportunity came up there, have you took that into consideration?
Yeah, the right fight, right opportunity. I'm in. You know what I mean? I'm open to everything. It's like, if I'm not gonna rule anything out, like any opportunities I'm willing to take. Because at the end of the day, you know, when I started boxing, I always wanted to, you know, kind of do like with Tony Bellew, you know, be a cruiserweight champion and then have a big fight at heavyweight for the cash out. And obviously the dream would be heavyweight champion, but this yeah, so the cruiserweight, I'm open to it. I think the right opportunity and the right fit, I'll be all over it. And it's great for cruiserweights because it gives cruiserweights the chance to become, you know, a two-weight world champion. Not every cruiserweight is big enough to be a heavyweight. I'm one of them. So it's great that, you know, now you have the chance, because loads of guys, when they go on the sport, he won a title at, you know, all these different weights to move up. Because cruiserweight, you're either, like, it's just going to be cruiserweight. So it's great, like, and I think I'm open to it, open to all opportunities.
Well, Tommy, it's been a great pleasure tonight speaking to you and getting the insights into what's going on ahead of the Billam Smith fight. I wish you the best of luck with that fight, and I'm sure we'll catch you again real soon.
Yes, thanks very much. Thanks for having me again.